The Grim Knight, origin explored. The Dark Multiverse, or the negative realm in the DC universe, has given us numerous dark and twisted versions of our favorite Batman. Unlike the Bruce Wayne we know of, these Dark Multiverse alternatives do not have any moral conscience, and single-handedly brought wrath to their worlds. These versions also give us an image of how catastrophic our Dark Knight can be if his moral code had not been that strong. These versions even managed to kill their versions of Superman and every other entity who tried to stop them. Some of these Batmen possessed external superhuman abilities, while others stole them, like Red Death, the Batman who took away Flash's Speed Force for himself. Some are just pure evil, without any special powers but equally capable of spreading chaos. In today's video, we will be talking about Grim Knight, the dark version of Batman who lived to execute anyone who broke the law or became an obstruction to him. Created by Scott Snyder and Jock, the character made his first appearance in The Batman Who Laughs, Volume 2, Issue 1. Published in February 2019, the Grim Knight's defining characteristic was his guns that covered his body and his usage of Wayne tech to take down Gotham. So, without further delay, let us dive into the origin story of Batman, who does not bruise, but kills, the Grim Knight. Before we go into our explanation, we have a small request. If you like our content, support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Now let's begin. The origin of the most dangerous Dark Knight of all. The Grim Knight had his first appearance in The Batman Who Laughs, Volume 2, Issue 1, but his origin story is well explained in The Batman Who Laughs, The Grim Knight, Volume 1. The comic begins with Jim Gordon of the main universe being tied and his face covered. He frantically keeps asking where he is. The smell indicates that he is in the sewer under the city, but that does not say where the exact location in the city was. We then see the shadow of Batman, but he looks different. He has the same cowl but a different appearance. This Batman has his body covered with various guns and calls him the Grim Knight. They both are in the part of the city where Bruce Wayne's parents were killed. The story of Bruce Wayne and his dark multiverse unfolds. That night, when Joe Chill shot his parents, things were different. As Joe Chill was busy picking up his mother's necklace pearls, young Bruce picked up the gun and shot him, killing him. At present, he has captured Jim Gordon and wants his revenge, as in his universe. Jim Gordon inhibited Grim Knight's plan to control Gotham. The Grim Knight gets a call from the Batman Who Laughs, who asked him not to play with his food. Jim tells him that he can understand the case with the Batman Who Laughs. He understands that the Joker's toxin's effects made him twisted and evil, but he does not understand why the Grim Knight chose the path of evil. The story flashes back to the part where young Bruce trained and traveled the world, facing and learning everything he could from trained assassins and soldiers. Bruce was desperate to put an end to the crime and kill evil. One evening when he was engraving his thoughts, a bat entered Wayne Manor through the window, to which Bruce shot it on point. He has decided to wear the mantle of a bat and kill his enemies. He is then shown to visit a place where all the corrupt and decadents were dining. He kills everyone. He kills several other crime bosses, which grabs Commissioner Jim Gordon's attention in his universe. Jim ambushes Green Knight upon a terrace with a huge magnet and police officers. The Grim Knight asks every police officer to reveal themselves, but Jim assures them that all their information is safe with Wayne Tech, and Grim Knight is never going to find that out. Grim Knight laughs at it, and then being Bruce Wayne himself, he uses his tech to blow off every soldier's bulletproof jacket, thereby killing them. Jim Gordon realizes that the Grim Knight is Bruce Wayne and plans out his next action. Harvey Dent is the mayor of this universe and has been convinced by the Grim Knight to install Wayne's surveillance system and the Gotham City Police Department. Jim Gordon takes down Wayne Tech bugs and other systems from the GCPD and seeks his permission to arrest Bruce Wayne. Meanwhile, Alfred leaves Wayne Manor. Before leaving, he says that he knows about the explosive planted in his neck and could blow it off at any time he felt like it. Bruce, however, does not kill Alfred and lets him go. Commissioner Jim Gordon, along with the entire GCPD, surrounds Wayne Manor. Bruce Wayne comes out to negotiate as he asks the GCPD how much has he contributed to their organization last year. This, however, does not change anything, and Jim Gordon arrests the Grim Knight. This humiliation made him hate Jim Gordon so much that he is at present torturing Jim Gordon from another universe. Some facts you should know about the DC's grittiest, most bloodthirsty Batman. When Marvel Comics' Punisher meets DC Comics' Batman, you get the Grim Knight. The Grim Knight is Nightmare incarnate, a violent, brutal, and merciless vigilante from a parallel dark dimension. Here are some fascinating facts about Batman's most heinous incarnation. Unlike Batman, who has a strict no-guns policy, the Grim Knight never hesitates to use lethal force to accomplish his goals. Extortion, kidnapping, assassination, and hijacking are among the situations in which he uses firearms. The Punisher served as an indirect inspiration for the Grim Knight. In warfare, Frank Castle favors the use of large caliber weapons. He also is extremely excellent at it. Although Batman is skilled with weaponry, he has pledged never to use them. No such requirement exists for the Grim Knight. He tends to pull the trigger and is more eager to spill blood. The Grim Knight is nearly invincible since he has no moral code to guide him. Bruce Wayne was walking down a dark alley in the parallel reality of the Grim Knight on that fateful night when Joe Chill emerged out of nowhere and shot the Waynes. On the other hand, Chill made a catastrophic mistake in this world. His greed had taken control. He set the revolver down on the floor and gathered the shattered pearls from Martha Wayne's necklace. Bruce took the initiative in this universe. He took the gun and shot his parents' killer in the head. Joe Chill had no idea what was about to happen to him. And with that one pull of the trigger, the world was never prepared for the rampage and attack that would follow the birth of a genuine monster. He's an assassin who targets cops. This Batman seeks complete reign over Gotham. His tyranny with a goal in mind to ensure complete control over Gotham. He compelled Mayor Harvey Dent to approve a contract for Wayne Enterprises monitoring modules to be installed around the city. If you're curious who he used to persuade Dent to do so, he used a little amount of radiation to scorch a portion of his face. After installing the technology around Gotham, the Grim Knight will be able to prevent crime before it occurs. His quest became much more ferocious. Regardless if they only intended to do anything unlawful, the Grim Knight began murdering them. Grim Knight had technically gone to the point of killing innocent people. Bruce Wayne confronted the Red Hood and his crew, who had entered Ace Chemicals during one of his first missions at the Grim Knight. The Red Hood would plunge into a vat of chemicals in the Prime Universe and later be drained out of a drainage pipe, his skin becoming white and his hair turning green. The Red Hood would later transform into the Joker, Batman's arch-enemy. In the Grim Knight's realm, however, such a scenario never occurred. When Bruce was fighting his gang at Ace Chemicals, he murdered the Red Hood. As a result, because the Joker was never created, the Grim Knight never had to combat it. At the very least, something positive came out of it. He used an automatic pistol to shoot a robber and drove a child predator's car off a bridge. He even made a corrupt judge's medical implants fail just in time. Alfred refused to accept such extreme measures to keep Gotham criminals in check. Alfred resigned his employment as the butler of Wayne Manor because he couldn't stand seeing the Bruce Wayne he adored become so corrupt and obsessed with revenge. The truth that the Grim Knight is truly Bruce Wayne had previously been determined by Jim Gordon. Jim Gordon did so, bringing the Grim Knight story to a close. Or did it? Let us know what you think. Since eventually being nailed by the Jim Gordon of his realm, the Batman Who Laughs came to the Grim Knight's world and gave him a seat at the high table. The Batman Who Laughs permitted Jim to pursue his brutal fight against every crime in the DC multiverse in return for his assistance as his trusted second-in-command. The Batman Who Laughs planned to contaminate the Prime Universe and transform it into his own playground, and he hired the Grim Knight to assist him. The Grim Knight murders Mr. Freeze by impersonating Batman from the Prime Universe. He then allows Batman Who Laughs to slay the world's Joker. This attracts the Prime Universe's gaze. Soon after, all hell broke loose. Perpetua, the comic goddess, has gathered an army of malevolent Batmen from throughout the Dark Multiverse to help her reshape the universe. She's revived the Batman Who Laughs by implanting his brain into the body of Manhattan, a Batman-Dr. Manhattan hybrid. Manhattan has established a few worlds in which crisis events repeat themselves, providing chaos energy to Perpetua. Perpetua's fortress, Castle Bat, has this chaos energy source. The Grim Knight is tasked with protecting Castle Bat from any approaching DC heroes, and he has arranged several lethal booby traps and tripwires to take out even the Justice League's biggest heavyweights. What makes Grim Knight so deadly? The Grim Knight is an all-powerful ghost that guards the city and haunts its inhabitants, slaying anybody who dares to commit a crime. He's well-trained and an expert in tactical analysis, weaponry, martial arts, acrobatics, and gadgetry. He's a skilled hacker who can generally take entire technical control of the city. The moment he arrives, he can even hack planes and cause them to crash to the ground. He can hurl knives with pinpoint accuracy, once slicing a man's skull open without even glancing at him. On his person, the Grim Knight has a range of firearms, ordnance, and other close-quarter weapons. Rifles, semi-automatic pistols, grenade launchers, rocket launchers, carbines, grenades, swords, combat knives, and throwing knives are among his many weapons. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.